knows a lot about the science stuff. Professor Dave explains.
Moving along through the classes of mollusca, class Cephalopoda includes both the most intelligent and the heaviest invertebrates on Earth. Its members are famous, perhaps more so than any invertebrate we have covered thus far, for capturing human imagination, fear, and awe. Historical illustrations of legendary sea monsters and man-killing octopuses date back to at least the 18th century. Ancient shrines erected in dedication to the gigantic octopus-like creature Akoro Kamui still populate the Japanese countryside. Culturally significant tales of various cephalopods, some good, some evil, some neutral, populate aboriginal tales around the world, from the Polynesian Rogo Tumu to the Hawaiian Kanaloa to the Samoan octopus god Hit, and many others. But cephalopod appearances in human culture don't stop there. Even modern pop culture can't get enough of them. Fictional creatures include the infamous monster from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, to Cthulhu, the evil Ursula, Squidward, and the infamous Kang and Kodos. One aspect of cephalopods that is common in historical myths is their alleged size. While it's true that class Cephalopoda includes both the longest and heaviest invertebrates on our planet, people often like to make these animals seem larger than they are. For example, there are no squid large enough to take down huge boats or battle enormous whales. It is absolutely true that sperm whales hunt giant squid, but sperm whales can grow to over 52 feet in length and weigh more than 40 tons, while the largest squid ever recorded weigh less than a single ton. They're still massive, mysterious creatures about which we know very little, but their reputation as hostile denizens of the deep is hardly accurate. The title of largest invertebrate is sometimes disputed as either a species of giant squid or the colossal squid. The term giant squid actually refers to potentially numerous species within the family Architeuthidea, which are found all over the world. Some of them can reach a maximum size of about 12 to 13 meters and can weigh up to 600 pounds, or potentially more. Undocumented claims of specimens measuring 20 meters or more are common, but not yet scientifically proven. The colossal squid, meanwhile, is from the family Crankaiidae and is found only in southern oceans. The largest intact specimen weighed 495 kilograms, or over 1,000 pounds, and is on display at the Museum of New Zealand Te Papa Tongarewa. In addition, some researchers have estimated, based upon beaks found in sperm whale stomachs, that colossal squid may attain sizes of 10 to 14 meters and weigh more than 700 kilograms, or 1,500 pounds, though other researchers claim that this is contentious. Regardless of which species is crowned largest invertebrate, their size is unrivaled by fellow invertebrates, and their reputation merits further study. So let's spend some time getting to know them better. Let's discuss their shells, general anatomy and physiology, including all their body systems, reproduction and lifestyle, their intellectual capabilities and behavior, and finally, their phylogeny. Once again, class Cephalopoda includes squids, octopuses, nautiluses, devilfish, and cuttlefish, along with the extinct ammonoids. They are all active marine predators, and their modified foot is merged with their head region. The significance of the shell varies by species. The shells of the extinct nautiloids and ammonoids were indeed heavy, but were kept buoyant by a series of gas chambers. Such an adaptation persists today only in the nautilus, though its shell weighs considerably less than its extinct precursors. The nautilus shell is divided into internal chambers, and only the last chamber is actually inhabited by the living animal. As it grows, it secretes behind its body a new septum and connects chambers by a cord of living tissue called a siphuncle, which extends from the visceral mass. Meanwhile, cuttlefish have a small curved shell known as a cuttlebone that is entirely enclosed by the mantle, and most squid have only a thin translucent strip called a pen that is enclosed within the mantle. Finally, the octopus and a few species of squid have lost their shells entirely, thus allowing some to squeeze through areas no wider than their eyes. In terms of their anatomy and physiology, cephalopods have numerous body systems, namely a muscular, lymphatic, respiratory, circulatory, digestive, urinary, integumentary, reproductive, and nervous system. Their muscular system aids them in locomotion. Cephalopods swim by forcefully expelling water using powerful muscles through their ventral siphon, which is a type of jet propulsion. Since their siphons are mobile and can be pointed forward or backward to control the direction of movement, cephalopods can rapidly change direction and jet through the water column in short bursts. Their muscular system also includes their powerful arms, tentacles, and cirri. These are actually different appendages in cephalopods. The 6 species of chambered nautilus have about 60 to 90 thin tentacle-like structures known as cirri. These cirri lack suction cups and are composed of long, soft, flexible appendages which can be retracted into corresponding hardened sheaths. However, nautiluses are unique among the cephalopods. Most cephalopods have 8 to 10 appendages. Octopuses famously have 8 arms and no tentacles, hence the prefix oct in their name. Squid and cuttlefish have 8 arms plus 2 other specialized arms called tentacles. The tentacles are adapted to snatch prey from farther away through their ability to extend and retract. Both the arms and tentacles are equipped with powerful suckers that can function like suction cups. The suckers in some squids are transformed into sharp hooks to better grasp their prey, while octopus suckers are more muscular and lack teeth. Meanwhile, squid and cuttlefish, unlike octopuses, have robust sucker ring teeth. Octopuses are able to dramatically change their bodies using muscular hydrostats, similar to the octopus's arms, as well as human tongues, which allows them to create an instant 3D camouflage, meaning they can change color and texture to suit their surroundings. Before we go too far, let's review cephalopod morphology. Here is a squid. The area from the eyes to the tips of the arms is known as the head-foot region. The long section that includes the fins and extends to the left of the eyes is the visceral mass. The head-foot region includes the arms, tentacles, brain, eyes, and mouth, while the visceral mass includes just about everything else. That is, all the organs. Oftentimes, fictionalized cephalopods are portrayed as if the visceral mass is the brain region. It feels like the visceral mass is the head, but it isn't. In humans, the part of the body that extends posteriorly to the eyes is the brain region, but this is not the case in cephalopods. The brain region is actually here. Moving along, the cephalopod lymphatic or immune system is innate, meaning that unlike vertebrates, they lack an adaptive immune system, and instead defend themselves using mainly cytotoxic reactions and humoral defenses. The cephalopod respiratory system, in all except the nautiluses, consists of a pair of unciliated gills located ventrally to the heart. In order to breathe, cephalopods move radial muscles in the mantle wall to compress the wall and draw water inside. Other muscles then contract and expel water forcibly through the siphon, which closes like a valve to prevent wastewater from re-entering. The cephalopod circulatory system is unique among the mollusks in that it is closed. Most mollusks, like the bivalves and gastropods, have an open circulatory system, meaning the blood bathes the organs. In a closed circulatory system, blood is closed up within a network of vessels and capillaries. Though their system seems similar to vertebrates, it works more or less in reverse. When vertebrate blood leaves the heart, it travels directly to the gills or lungs and becomes oxygenated, and then goes to the rest of the body. In cephalopods, the blood in the heart is already oxygenated. When it leaves the heart, it goes to the rest of the body first, and then reaches the gills afterwards. In order to move blood from the gills to the heart, cephalopods have 2 accessory or branchial hearts that sit at the base of each gill. Their main heart is known as the systemic heart, bringing their total heart count to 3. One last note, cephalopods use a copper-containing protein called hemocyanin to transport oxygen. As a result, their blood is colorless when deoxygenated and turns blue when bonded to oxygen. Vertebrates, on the other hand, use hemoglobin, an iron-containing protein, to transport their oxygen, which results in a red color. The cephalopod digestive system begins with a 2-part beak which hides a reduced rasping radula, which is a toothed tongue-like structure. They hunt by catching food in their tentacles or arms, drawing it into their sharp beak and ripping off chunks. In the process, they excrete digestive juices from their salivary glands. All this happens within their buccal bulb, which is muscular and mobile. Food then passes into their esophagus, followed by the crop, stomach, and cecum, then intestine. Nutrients are exchanged within the intestine, and inedible particles are condensed with mucus and pass out the anus. The urinary or excretory system consists of a single pair of nephridia. Nitrogenous waste is first filtered out of the blood within the branchial hearts and stored within a bladder-like renal sac, which reabsorbs excess water and releases waste. The cephalopod integumentary system is essentially the outer layer of skin. It protects them from harm and allows them to interact with their environment. Cephalopod skin has numerous pressure and chemical sensors to allow them to feel and taste their environment. As we mentioned, with muscular hydrostats, many species can contort their bodies and control the structure of their skin. Perhaps most famously, cephalopod skin includes color-changing structures known as chromatophores, which contain pigment granules. Tiny muscle cells surround each elastic chromatophore, whose contractions pull and expand the cell and therefore the pigment. This results in a wide range of colors and patterns that can shift in an instant. Some cephalopods can even change colors so quickly that it appears as a moving, rippling flash that covers their bodies. In terms of the cephalopod reproductive system, cephalopods are dioecious, so they are either male or female. Males produce sperm within gonads that are encased within spermatophores and stored in a sac that opens into the mantle cavity. Females produce eggs within their oviduct. Most species, like squid and cuttlefish, use external fertilization, though they must be in close proximity to one another. Usually, the male will initiate fertilization by releasing spermatozoa that fertilizes female eggs as she releases them. Octopuses, however, use internal fertilization in which the male uses a modified arm with a hectocotylus, which he uses to pluck a spermatophore from within his mantle and insert it into the mantle cavity of a female, right near the opening to her oviduct, which contains her eggs. The female then keeps the spermatophore within her mantle. When she releases eggs, they are fertilized as they leave the oviduct. The cephalopod nervous system is unique in the animal kingdom. Their donut-shaped brains, which encircle their esophagus, are the largest of any invertebrate and consist of several lobes with millions of nerve cells. They are connected by long nerve trunks that extend into the arms and other parts of the body. Their sense organs are well developed. The Nautiluses have a pinhole eye that is open to the water and does not have a lens or cornea. However, all other cephalopods have highly complex eyes, complete with cornea, lens, chambers, and retina. They hold their eyes in constant relation to gravity, so that the slit-shaped pupils are always oriented horizontally. In addition to eyes, cephalopods can detect gravity using statocysts, feel using their arms, tentacles, and pressure receptors in their skin, and they can taste or smell using a variety of chemical sense organs. Cephalopods were long thought to be deaf, but experiments have revealed that the statocysts of many squid can detect sound. Before we finish up anatomy and physiology, let's discuss a unique cephalopod defense system, ink. Nearly all known cephalopods have an ink sac, which can be used to expel a cloud of dark ink to confuse predators. This sac is a muscular bag that lies beneath the gut and opens into the anus, into which its contents, almost pure melanin, can be squirted. Its proximity to the base of the funnel means the ink can be distributed by ejected water as the cephalopod uses its jet propulsion. Most cephalopods also eject a mixture of mucus into the ink so that a thick cloud forms, allowing the animal to escape while confusing the predator. Now let's spend a little more time on cephalopod reproduction and life cycle. Before reproducing, most cephalopods have elaborate mating rituals that involve a wide range of color changes, movements, and chemicals. Males often compete with one another for female attention, and at times can be quite aggressive toward one another. Some species, like the cuttlefish, display clear mate choice, where females prefer some males over others. Larger males usually win in competitions with smaller males, but smaller males have been known to disguise themselves as females in order to slip past larger males undetected and opportunistically mate with a female that chooses him. Though the cephalopods are a diverse group of species, all of them have a rapid growth rate and relatively short lifespans, especially for intelligent animals. The majority of cephalopods do not provide parental care to their offspring. Most female cephalopods lay eggs in clutches. Each egg is composed of a protective coat to ensure the safety of the developing embryo when released into the water column. Some species anchor their eggs to a sheltered substrate. Others simply release them into the water column, while still others inject ink into egg capsules for camouflage. However, octopuses are a notable exception. Mothers will often stay with their eggs and defend them against any and all threats, never eating, never leaving, and slowly dying in the process. Some mother octopuses have been seen tearing off and eating their arms while protecting their young. Others have been filmed defending their eggs from hordes of attacking crabs. Still others have been found fending off sharks, barracudas, and humans to save their babies. An individual of one species, Granulodon boreopacifica, has been recorded defending her eggs for 4.5 years, which is by far the longest egg brooding period ever reported for any animal species. Though squid can mate multiple times, female octopuses only mate once. They usually succumb to death shortly after their young hatch, likely to starvation. Unlike most mollusks, modern cephalopods do not have a distinct larval stage. Juveniles are known as paralarvae and learn to hunt right after birth. They grow quickly into adults, and some reach sexual maturity in as little as 6 months, though most become sexually mature in 1 to 2 years. Most only live for 3 to 5 years, though nautiluses can live for 20 years or more, and some species of deep-sea octopuses may live much longer. Their relatively short lifespans are somewhat anomalous given their intelligence. Cephalopods, especially octopuses, have surprised researchers time and again in their abilities to learn. One study conducted in 1992 found that octopuses can learn a task simply by observation. An untrained octopus watched a trained octopus complete a task, and then was able to complete the task itself. Many similar studies have been done since. Octopuses can distinguish between different shapes and patterns, and even individual researchers. They have been filmed dreaming, escaping enclosures in labs to eat crabs in nearby tanks, shooting water at researchers they dislike, while holding tightly to the hands of others, opening bottles, counting objects, and distinguishing between other individual cephalopods. They have also been observed playing with toys by throwing them into flowing water and then catching them, only to throw them again. They are capable of spatial learning, tool use, mimicry, and detailed communication using chromatophores, skin texture, posture, and locomotion. Cephalopods can solve complex puzzles requiring pushing or pulling actions, and can also unscrew the lids of containers and open the latches on acrylic boxes in order to obtain the food inside. They can also remember solutions to puzzles and learn to solve the same puzzle presented in different configurations. Behavioral evidence suggests that cephalopods likely have a form of primary consciousness, since they are heavily dependent on learning, are capable of forming concepts, keep a working memory of past foraging, and possess the capacity for future planning and rewards. Due to their intelligence, some countries have passed legislation that protects cephalopods from consumption and harmful experiments, though in most parts of the world they have little to no protection. Lastly, let's look into phylogeny. The cephalopods are first broken down into 3 major subclasses. These are the extinct Ammonoidea, once some of the most common marine animals on the planet; Nautiloidea, which includes a great deal of extinct animals and only 6 species of extant nautilus; and Coleoidea, which have 1 pair of gills and include all other cephalopods. Coleoidea is further broken down as follows. There are the Octopodiformes, which are the 8-armed cephalopods and include the vampire squid, and Octopoda, which includes the basal octopods, such as the argonauts and all other species of octopuses. Decapodiformes, all of which have 8 arms used for movement and manipulation and 2 tentacles used for capturing prey and reproduction, contains the bobtail squid, Idiocephalida and Sepiolida, the cuttlefish, Cephalopoda, and 2 orders of squid, the pelagic squid of Egopsida and Myopsida, which includes the commercially important pencil squid. And that completes our summary of the cephalopods. Let's move forward and discuss the remaining lesser-known classes of phylum Mollusca.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel for more tutorials. Support me on Patreon so I can keep making content. And as always, feel free to email me, ProfessorDaveExplains@gmail.com.